Hey, good afternoon, David.
Hey, Mike. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. After the game last night, you were talking about the roller coaster nature of the first 6 weeks of the regular season here. Have you found in the past, have you had the success you've wanted with the team that's kind of up and down, or does that need to improve that continuity and have a more even keel over the course of the season to get to where you want to go?
Well, I feel there's always patterns each and every season. I think September football, there are certain trends that you see in September football, but at the end of the day, every season is different. We've had 3 high moments. Obviously with the type of victories that we had. We've had 2 competitive games. That's why I think the win yesterday will serve us well because we got into situations that we haven't had a lot of experience in, as far as 2-minute drills for the defense and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, it's, there's highs and lows you go through every year. But, just in this short range of games, the peaks and valleys have been, different than I've encountered as a head coach.
Have you found with some of your better teams through the years that does smooth itself out even after you have these type of starts?
It's part of your journey. It's part of your path. I mean, to think you control all that, that's not realistic. It's whether we're talking about expectations, every team has a goal to get through this journey and win the Super Bowl. I mean, I clearly think every team I've ever been a part of it. I mean, that's how your year starts. But everybody has a different path that's cut, and it's important for us to keep our eyes forward and keep moving forward. It's a beautiful thing that we get to come in here and talk about the negativities of the great game that we're a part of, but also you can't lose sight of the positive components that give you the fuel to continue to move forward. But the negative moments are great opportunities and experiences that you have to have. I mean, you're never going to be who you want to be if you don't go through those moments.
Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. First of all, can you talk about what the plan is for the team this week for the bye week?
Yes, players were in today. They did sick call. Everybody went through the medical component of it. So then they had their strength and conditioning workout, and there's a few positions that are in meetings right now. So some guys were here early. We gave the position coaches the option to go through the grading of the film. So once the grading is completed with the team, the players are on the bye week.
There you go. So nothing tomorrow. They're done.
Yes,
today.
correct. Yes.
Secondly, Dak's running, scrambling, was that part of the game plan, or was that kind of natural flow? And do you need him to use his legs to make this offense go?
Well, I mean, running and scrambling, I mean, just from my viewpoint, and the training's different. Scrambling is part of the passing game. Yes, it's the way we train. You see us practice in the quarterback schools and all those things. So the scrambling component is part of the passing game. The called runs, we're selective when we do it, and so I mean, he's very productive, obviously on a touchdown run. It was a big play in the game. But yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in making Dak. You won't see me call 12 quarterback runs in the game, I guess, to answer your question.
Yeah, he talked last night.
Don't tell anybody, though. Okay.
You tweet us his TV camera.
Here you guys scheme again, yeah?
But he talked about needing to use his legs more and do it. He hadn't done it much early in the season, but even take it off from the pocket.
Yeah, I think really that kind of goes back to the first question. I mean, these games, we've been in different games. I mean, there's games where he hasn't needed to. So, and there's games where he will need to. This defense is, we had a lot of respect for the pass rush. Obviously we gave up 5 sacks, but the wide rushers, there's definitely opportunity there to come up through the A and B gaps, and I thought he did a good job of working through his progressions and escaping and activating the scramble drill.
Mike Tarch with ESPN. How is Dak in your mind above the 2.3 as you call it? What do you think he does there?
Well, I think that he does. It's once again, it's the second phase of the pass game. There's decision making. Also, there's route running discipline, and there's lanes to be filled. So it's not as much just him. It's really the whole perimeter group and the pass protection group staying alive. So it's really a coordinated effort by all the guys. It's definitely not something the quarterback can do by himself. But I think he does a really good job with it.
John.
John Michaud, The Athletic. After the game, when you gathered the team around, you said that line about the ordinary people with extraordinary beliefs. Where did that come from? Was that like a mantra, like during the week that you came up with, or what?
No, it was really it was part of the message in the chapel the night before, and frankly, there was a number of things that was said in that chapel that I think we all needed to hear. I know I did. So too much looking in the past. I think we do probably too much if there is a such thing. I thought the accountability of the team last week was excellent, but we were talking about the last game way too much, and and that was part of the message in chapel, and I think it's definitely one we'll revisit moving forward.
Patrick.
Hey Mike, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Obviously, 4-2 is a good place to be going into your bye. Kind of a roller coaster over the past 4 weeks, but going into the bye, what's one thing that you would like to see you guys come out cleaner with after the bye, and what's one thing that you love going into the bye that you guys are doing well?
Well, I mean, roller coaster rides are fun, so you got to make sure you look at the high points of it too, in the turns and twists that give you a chance to learn. So, to be honest with you, we have a segment called Across the Hall. I think I've spoken on it before. We'll do that Monday when we get back with the players. So, and that'll kind of coincide with the self-scout things that'll come out of the offense, defense, and special teams, advanced studies. But and then we got to turn the page and get on to the Rams. Get going. To me, this season's really kind of broken up in trimesters this year. Just the way it's fallen. We just completed our first one, so and just get ready for this next run. We've been on the road 4 out of 6 games. It'll be great to be back home. Playing in front of our crowd. But yeah, just we got to improve. I think speaking to coordinators a little bit before coming down here. I think the description yesterday, I thought Dan said it best was, it was gritty, it just wasn't pretty, and so you guys like pretty, it's part of wearing a star, but the gritty part is to me that's our foundation, and that's something we need to continue to build off of, but we do need to clean some things up. The pre-snap penalties, it's we were in a highly penalized game, last night for both teams, and I just think it's all part of growing as a team and being engaged in the ebb and flow of it. When they're calling it tight like that, you got to be extra disciplined. Particularly with your alignments and your hand utilization because of the things that they're focused on. So, just continue to find ways, be creative, and and be demanding, and make sure we're stressing the right things coming out of this bye.
Calvin
Watkins, Dallas Morning News. We talk about, we look back too much. Was that more so, it was the 49er game, or was that more in general?
Yeah, 49er game. Yeah, I mean it was an experience, and I tell you what, the most important thing was to have a responders, and we responded. We responded in a big way. So, that was a tough game on a lot of fronts. It was a team that was coming out of the body, threw a lot at us. I mean, they threw, on both sides of the ball. So, particularly their defense. We saw a lot of scheme. A lot of tendency breakers. So, that we'll be better for it. So.
How would you assess Gallup so far? It looked like as if he's always making some tough catches, or he's in those tough situations.
Yeah, I mean that's really it's just part of the way the game goes. I mean we're not we don't go out and say, okay, Michael, you only get to run the tough routes. That's not that's not the plan. But I just think sometimes you can see obviously Dak has a lot of faith in him. A lot of very high belief in him. So that's probably part of it.
Coach, Aisha Morrison, DallasCowboys.com. Coach, you spoke about the wide nine and how that stresses an offensive line. The last couple of teams are stunning a lot at you folks. Is that communication and stuff something that you guys are going to work on or try to work on until the bye with this offensive line just starting to find some cohesion?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point. I think clearly, that the continuity of an offensive line is only built working every day together. So, we've had our first full week going into this game. They didn't show as much movement with their inside three, with their inside pieces. Clearly went to a bunch of it going into the game. Understand why. We felt that was an area that, that we matched up very well. So we saw a lot more inside movement. But the wide nine, the wide set edges of the 3-4. That's who they are. So that's part of their deal. But man to man is something that we're going to continue to see each and every week. I think just clearly coming out of San Francisco, and you see the first play of the game was man against us. So that just all plays to the point I'm making. We'll be better for this.
Scott Dixon with DAP. One more time on the looking back too much thing. It struck me on the TV interview on the field last night with Dak. He was asked something about the game. And had a couple of sentences about that, but then he just kind of stopped and said, but that's all in the past. And he was talking about something that was like an hour earlier on the field. That's all in the past. We're looking forward. You see that out of him a little bit more, or is that also just kind of an element of your message on?
Well, I think he was at Chapel. I spoke on it again in the team meeting. So I think it's all a point in the messaging that we all identified with. So it was important for for us to move forward and get the win. So I think our guys did an excellent job with that.
Clarence.
The running game, what do you need to do to get that untracked?
I got to get in sync. Yeah, we got to get in sync. We had some declaration challenges. The movement, and that's going to the earlier question. The movement inside was a challenge for us. So have a lot of confidence. I don't think you can work against a better defensive line that moves as much as our defensive line. So we've had a lot of work in training camp and that. So we'll just we still do a competitive period on Thursday. So definitely a focus. As an offense, you talk to any offensive line coach, you can't get enough work in the movement part of it, both in the run and the pass rush.
What was the basis of the decision to bring up Davis and sit Deuce?
Special teams, yes. It was a big part of that was special teams.
Todd.
Mike, when these guys come back on Monday, do you reset where everything is as you head into I guess this would be the second trimester? Do you reset where you guys are standing-wise, conference-wise, anything like that on a big picture?
I don't think. I don't pay much attention to the records. I think, there's two things I've really always focused on is us, yourself, Scott, and your division. I don't think you ever have to look outside of your division for a barometer where you are, especially in October. Yeah, so I go by the old adage, when you get to 10 wins, then look around. It's probably 11 wins now, the 17-game season. So yeah, I think a lot of that's. I get it's part of our business, and there's a lot of conversation with that. But I've never used that with the team. I just don't think it's. I don't see the benefit of it, frankly.
And then you mentioned 4 of the first 6 are on the road. Now you get 5 of your next 7 at home.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. I know it was quite a bit.
How is this where? Does that help where you want to get off that roller coaster and stabilize the fact that?
Oh yeah, there's no place like home, right? It's when it's important for us to maintain the home field advantage that we've established. But yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to playing at home.
Scholar.
Sorry, I blanked on you there. I lost.
Can I use that moving forward? I like that. That's a great response. Yeah.
I got it.
No, that's all right. No, we're good. No, it's okay.
Mike, he was an eyelash away from a 3rd consecutive game without a sack, which hasn't happened to him much in his 3 years. What can you say about him and that kind of a play in that moment when he'd been kind of shut out for a little while?
I think it speaks to him. I think it speaks to the responsibility that he has. He's an elite player. He's a big-time player. I know he's young. He's still growing, but the play needed to be made. He went out and did it. So that's if you look at the history of this league, that's when those caliber players usually step up.
Speaking of stepping up, you started Bell last night after watching the tape, and
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about how he
Played extremely well. We're still working through the game balls, but I think he'll probably be the front of the line. He played at that level, so I thought he had an excellent performance.
I remember last year when Ron Bland came up, you just said instantly when he walked in the building during the pre-draft workouts that you knew he could play. Was that similar to Bell, or was it?
Their personalities, just a lot of confidence, from day one. You could tell right away they belonged. It wasn't too big for them in their early days, and you just see them getting better and better. So just playing with a lot of confidence, both those young guys.
All righty, thanks. Oh, Todd?
One quick follow-up on Bell, if I may. His size, just talking about his size, you know, he seems, he's kind of small to play that position.
Well, yeah, and I think we got to be smart about it too. I mean, you know, how we utilize them. So I think Dan and his staff are doing a great job with that.
First half, I think you guys used motion 80% of the snaps.
Okay.
And then the second half, it kind of trailed off. Was there just something that you wanted to, tired of us talking about the lack of motion? They said, all right, here you go, everybody.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. I mean, I was really thinking about my mother getting on my ass about my call sheet, not covering up my mouth. So sorry, I didn't get to the media focal points on my call sheet, but no. To be honest with you, I quit the motions because of the pre-snaps, just the way it was going and just the way they're playing. I mean, the reason why we motioned is a number of reasons. But I don't want to get too deep in this, but I thought they did an excellent job of holding their coverages. You know, their disguise is probably one of the better disguised defenses that we've seen this year. So, but you know, we weren't getting a whole lot of bang for our buck there. So, so I like to play fast, get up and attack, so forth. But yeah, the motion standpoint was more about them than us.
All right.
Good.